All right, so for question number 1 here, we got a load of construction materials with a mass of 200 kilograms. So we know mass, 200 kilograms, okay? And we know that it's lifted to a height of 10 meters above the ground. So that's, or sorry, from a height of 10 meters above the ground. So that's our initial height to a height of 35 meters. Okay? We're looking for the amount of work that's done. All right, 1 mark for givens. What kind of energy is changing in this question? The potential energy. All right, so we simply write work is a change in potential energy, 1 mark. So that's going to mean m times g times h initial, or sorry, final, minus m times g times h initial. So we'll give them a mark for that. Okay, and then we'll plug in our numbers. So that'll be 200 kilograms times 9.81 times 35 minus 200 times 9.81 times 35. Sorry, times 10. Sorry, 10. Or you could do it in 1 step. Yeah, you could subtract them and just do it times 25. It would work out. Give them a mark for that step. That's 4 marks. Okay, so we are looking at 200. Oh, sorry, guys. All right, let's try this. 200 times 9.81 times 35 minus 200 times 9.81 times 10. All right, gives us a change in energy of 49,050 joules. Fifth and final mark. Questions on number 1. Okay. Question number 2. What kind of question is number 2? What? Not just energy conversion, but energy conservation as well. Okay, so law of conservation of energy question for this one. So they can write down their givens any way they want. I always draw a picture. Okay, that's really steep, but you get the idea. Okay, so we got a bobsled, which I just draw as a toboggan because it's easier. So we are starting 45 meters above ground level, moving at 12 meters per second, and a little while later, okay, we are 13 meters above ground level, and we are looking for the final speed. 1 mark for givens. 1 mark for realizing it's a law of conservation of energy question. EI equals EF. Okay, so that's going to be EP initial plus EK initial equals EP final plus EK final. And that'll be M times G times H initial plus 1/2 MV initial squared equals M times G times H final plus 1/2 MV final squared. 1 mark there. All right, we need to manipulate this for the final speed. So for that, so I'm going to move EPF, which is MGHF, over to this side by subtracting it, and then I'm going to divide by half of M. My M's are all going to cancel. That's probably my next step, is actually to cancel the M's. All right, so I'll be left with this G times H initial plus 1/2 of V initial squared minus GHF equals 1/2 of VF squared, and then I'm going to divide both sides by 1/2 and square root. Give them a mark if they've got that manipulation. Mark for plugging in all the numbers. So we will have 9.81 times 45 plus 1/2 times 12 squared minus 9.81 times 13 divided by 1/2. All right, so we're looking at 27.78 or 27.8, whichever they wrote, meters per second. sixth and final mark there. Sorry, and there was a mark here for the number plugging. So it's out of 11. Give him a mark out of 11. Let him see it. Put him on this desk right here.